Ancient Sumerian accounts of the Great Flood. Gods left Earth to be safe in the heavens. Ancient Sumerian accounts of the Great Flood speak of a time when gods came down from heaven creating the first cities on Earth, but these same gods left Earth to be safe in the heavens before the Great Flood swept across the planet. While there are many accounts of ancient, prehistoric floods, the earliest flood legend in world mythology actually originates in one of the most enigmatic and mysterious ancient civilizations to inhabit our planet, the Sumerians. The account of the Great Flood, according to ancient Sumerian legend, date back to about 200 BCE, to a time when gods left Earth to be safe in the heavens. Many of the ancient Sumerian clay tablets provide incredible stories that are mainly considered as legends or myths, simply because we are unaware of their true meaning, and can't comprehend something that makes our mind wander into the unknown. Texts found in ancient Sumerian tablets illustrate impressive stories of how humans came into existence, our origins, and the incredible interference of gods in a way we cannot possibly imagine. The ancient gods in Enlil, Enki and Ninhursag created the black-headed people while also creating comfortable conditions for animals to live and procreate. Then the kingship descends from heaven and the first ancient cities are founded: Eridu, Bab Tibira, Larak, Sippar, and Shorapak. The Sumerians were the first people who started building actual cities, organized using actual city grids like we see in modern-day cities around the world. They invented sewer systems, they invented cobblestones frequently used in the pavement of early streets, they were also taught in agriculture, but most importantly they were the first civilization that invented the first known writing system by using the cuneiform script on clay tablets. They were one of the most advanced ancient civilizations. History tells us many interesting facts and stories about the Sumerians, and even today archaeologists and historians still do not have a complete picture that could tell everything about the people that once inhabited the region of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. 1200 years had not yet passed when the land extended and the peoples multiplied. The land was bellowing like a bull. The god got disturbed with their uproar. Enlil heard their noise and addressed the great gods. The noise of mankind has become too intense for me. With their uproar, I am deprived of sleep. Cut off supplies for the peoples. Let there be a scarcity of planet life to satisfy their hunger. Adad, another custodian, should withhold his rain, and below, the flood, the regular flooding of the land which made it fertile, should not come up from the abyss. Let the wind blow and parch the ground, let the clouds thicken but not release a downpour, let the fields diminish their yields, there must be no rejoicing among them. William Bramley, The Gods of Eden. Were gods angry with humans? Why is that gods or God, depending on which story of the flood you read, show ruthless behavior towards mankind? And what do all of the myths have in common? According to writings on an ancient Assyrian tablet we understand the following. Command that there be a plague, let Namtar diminish their noise. Let disease, sickness, plague and pestilence blow upon them like a tornado. They commanded and there was plague. Namtar diminished their noise. Disease, sickness, plague, and pestilence blew upon them like a tornado. William Bramley, The Gods of Eden. Ancient Sumerian tablets interestingly mention that just before the Great Flood swept across Earth, the gods left our planet to be safe in the heavens, returning only after the end of the Great Deluge. But and why is that some parts of the stories are plausible while other parts of it, like when gods flew to the heavens, are considered improbable? Interestingly, the story of Noah, the most popular story of the flood, probably illustrates similar stories as those seen in the Epic of Gilgamesh, which predates the Bible. According to the Epic of Gilgamesh, Enki, the creator god of man, approached a mortal named Utnapishtim and spoke to him, revealing the plans of the gods, giving him plans on how to build a boat, and how to survive the wrath that the gods would set upon earth. Once the flood has swept across the planet, fulfilling the wrath of the gods, Utnapishtim sent 3 birds to find land. After Utnapishtim discovered land and set foot on it, he offered sacrifice to the gods, after which the gods allowed him to live. But and is it possible that the stories about great floods caused by the wrath of God or the gods were not a myth? And what if accounts of ancient cultures are in fact true? What if gods did, in fact, exist on earth, and what if they did travel to the heavens just before the flood? Well, according to Robert Ballard, one of the best-known underwater archaeologists, who in 1985, using a robotic submersible with a remote-controlled camera, found the famous shipwreck of the Titanic, the Great Flood did in fact happen in the distant past. Ballard believes that some 12,000 years ago, much of the Earth's surface was covered in ice. Where I live in Connecticut was ice a mile above my house, all the way back to the North Pole, about 15 million kilometers. That's a big ice cube, he said in an interview with ABC News. But then it started to melt. We're talking about the floods of our living history, he added. According to Ballard, after the water from the glaciers started melting, it rushed into the world's ocean, causing huge, catastrophic flood around the world. The question is, was there a mother of all floods? Ballard said. A controversial theory proposed by Columbia University scientists claims there was a giant flood in the distant past in the region of the Black Sea. According to researchers, the now salty Black Sea was once an isolated freshwater lake which was surrounded by huge areas of farmland. That is, until it was flooded by a huge wall of water coming from the rising Mediterranean Sea. Scientists estimate that the force of the water was, in fact, 200 times stronger than that of the Niagara Falls. The giant wall of water swept away everything that it encountered in its path, creating total destruction and chaos in the region, changing the geography forever. What if the tales written by the ancient Sumerians are correct, authentic and of actual historical value? Is it possible, like ancient clay tablets suggest, that gods did in fact descend from the heavens, creating the first cities on earth? And is it possible that these same gods escaped to the heavens before the Great Flood? The question that inspires debate is, in ancient Sumerian texts, can we identify the difference between myth and reality? And what kind of reality is accepted by mainstream scholars today? It seems that the ancient clay tablets of ancient Sumer have incredibly valuable historical stories that have been ignored for decades by mainstream scholars.